Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Dis-Cember, where we're talking about the Lizzie McGuire movie. Yes, much like Even Stevens, this was another show that I watched on Disney Channel. I was in the Zoog era of Disney. This was in a transition, though. Uh, I was interested. It was interesting to find out that, of course, the show only ran for 65 episodes. But those 65 episodes only ran over 2 seasons. 2 seasons, 65 episodes. What? And the movie, of course, serves as the series finale, though, much like with Even Stevens' movie, there's not really any finality to it, but it is. Quick thing to note, the character of Miranda, played by Lelaine, is not in this movie. Actually, there's some kind of back and forth as to what actually happened. Some reports say that she was filming You Wish, the Disney Channel original movie, at the time during the second half of the show, but she's not in the movie either. Other reports say that Hilary Duff pushed her out of the show. Apparently, I read something where apparently there was supposed to be an episode where Miranda was supposed to sing, but because Hilary Duff wanted to be a singer, she intervened and they canceled that, and she was pushed off the show because of it. I don't know how much of this is true, but that's just what I hear, I guess. But if there's anything to go by, there was going to be a reboot back in 2020. They announced a reboot for Disney Plus. It's going to follow Lizzie as a 30-year-old, even though she'd be older than 30 at that point, because I was older than 30 at that point, and we're the same age. I know you can just tell because between the two of us. Anyway, but that fell through because Hilary Duff wanted it to be more grown up, and Disney wanted it to be more kid friendly and family friendly, and so that fell through. But they announced before it went through, like, Hilary Duff was coming back. The mom, the dad, the little brother, and even Cordo, whose actor stopped acting at that point, was coming back. So, yeah, they were trying to bring him back as many as they could, but one person not announced, Lelaine. So there might be some truth to pushing out thing. So yeah, and so much like with Even Stevens, we start with the. So this movie's weird because it's another one of those. We're gonna do a movie version of the TV show, and we're gonna just send them somewhere. They go to Roma, and I'm sitting here going, they did that with Sabrina already. What the hell are they doing? And it's not. It's kind of the plot of that one, where it's a guy who's lying to her about something, just like in the Sabrina that goes to Rome movie. It's a guy who's lying to her about something, right? The same, but excuse me. Yeah, so there's that plot, and it's in Rome, but yeah, Rome. Weird. But, yeah, we start out with a middle school graduation. I swear to God, I don't know where this comes from. I've never seen or been to or heard of a middle school graduation. I will point out that it's a little more appropriate here because Hilary Duff was only 16 at the time. I know because I was 16 at the time. We're the same age. So she was only 16 at this time. Whereas, compare that to Ren, forgot her name. Christy Carlson Romano. Christy Carlson Romano, who was 19 at the time. Big difference, but she's still supposed to be 13 or 14. I was 14 when I left, when I went to high school. But I was a year behind, so it's also caused issues with people watching this I'm not going to try to justify it, but I'm going to try to make it make a little more sense. We'll get to it. But, we'll get to it. So, we start off with her singing into the tide is high and I'm holding on. The remake version by Atomic Kitten, which was all over Disney Channel. Whether it's the music video, everything. They even have from the live version, I think, at some point. So that song was on Radio Disney and everything too. I don't know if it still does. Radio Disney used to have a music channel on Charter or Spectrum that I used to listen to. I don't think it's still on there now, but anyways, so she's doing what the teenage girls do. She's singing into her hairbrush as she dances around, and her brother is filming her do this because he wants to get an embarrassing moment. Now, some people have pointed out it's good to point out that she does change her clothes a few times during this montage. I just want to say this is a Disney movie, so I'm thinking Matt probably maneuvered the thing away while she changed, then came back. I don't think he filmed his sister changing, because as a brother, I don't want to see that. No, I freaked out when I came downstairs and my sister was in a sports bra. With a sports bra, it's like a shorter t-shirt. But to me, it's still a bra. I come down and I'm like, hey, yeah. Ah. She's like, what? I'm like, you're in a bra. She's like, it's a sports bra. There's nothing. It's like a smaller t-shirt, like a small tank top. Still, I need to see that. So I don't think he was actually spying on her like that. Okay, those people who wag their finger at this. She changed her clothes too many times. I'm thinking he veered away or turned the camera around so he wouldn't say anything. Cause I don't think he'd want to see it more than I would. Anyway, so then she goes to her middle school graduation, and this is where we get some heavy stuff thrown down on us. We find out that Miranda is in Mexico City. No idea what her reason was for not being in the rest of season 2, but and we find out that they're going on their trip. It's a high school trip, but they haven't actually gone to high school yet. Their high school principal or teacher or something is going to be there. And then she's told that because the valedictorian is sick or can't make it, Lizzie now has to give the valedictorian speech, which she has to make off the top of her head, I guess. This is kind of stupid. And she ends up tripping and making the whole stage fall down for some reason. I don't know what it is. But they're off for 2 weeks to Roma. And they get there on their first day and they're looking around. Well, we meet Mrs. Ungermeyer, who doesn't care about her students because we got parents telling them about allergies and asthma, and she's like, shut up! No, again, this is Disney, so I like to believe that it's because she already has the list of allergies and doesn't need people to tell her what it is. I'm giving a little credit here, okay? So, while they're out on their first date looking at this cathedral or whatever, she meets Paolo, played by Yanni Gelman. And here's where I hear people have issues. Because you have this strange dude in Rome running around with this 13-year-old girl. And they say it's a creepy. And I'm not going to deny that. It is kind of creepy. But they do point out that he's 17. So people say, doesn't make it any creepier because she's 13, he's 17. I think what makes it a little bit better for me, at least, is that Hilary Duff, like I said, is 16. Yanni Gelman was actually 17 because his birthday hasn't happened yet. So he turned 18 that year, but his birthday hadn't happened yet, so he's still technically 17. And as weird as it is, a 13-year-old dating a 17-year-old is still legal. I know. Because they're still underage. But once he turned 18, then it would have to stop or something. You know? As weird as it is, that's still legal until he turns 18. I'm just saying. Laws, whatever. I know it's weird. There's 4... And think of it, 4 years. It's only 4 years. It's not like, But if he turned 18 and he's still going, yeah, that's statutory rape. So, or grape, whatever. That's statutory grape. So, yeah, but he's not 18 yet. But I've know people who just got in trouble for, certain things like that, where it was just they were dating and he turned 18 and then the parents got pissed off or something and now he's got to report to someone. Or they've got to report to someone. I'm not gonna, that sort of situation. And there might be more to it, but that's all I was told. So before you say, well, there could be bullshit. It could be. It could be bullshit, but that's what I was told. That's all I know with my knowledge. Okay? And given Paolo's what he plans to do here, intentions, I don't think he ever intended it to actually be romantic in any way, shape, or form anyway. He just led her to believe it. Because we get there. So he tells her that she looks just like his singing partner, Isabella. Now, they don't ever specify if she's supposed to be 17 or not. Or 16 or whatever, because Lizzie, that's what, she's 16. The actress, Hilary Duff. So I don't know. I don't think Isabella is supposed to be 13 as well. She's supposed to be older. And the reason I say that is because when they actually have her come on, it's still Hilary Duff. They do her makeup, and she looks older. They do makeup to make her look older. So I think she's supposed to be older than Lizzie. Because for some reason, when she's playing Isabella, she looks older than she is when she's playing Lizzie. They did something with her makeup or something. I don't know. But maybe it's the darker hair. I don't know. So he tells her that Isabella and Isabella were supposed to perform on this award show in Rome, but she left him, and but she left him on an island, and he doesn't want Isabella's career to get hurt, so he wants Lizzie to sing with him, so it helps Isabella. And then there's some kind of romantic thing going on, but not really. That's another thing with the Sabrina thing. I think he does actually end up liking her. I think. I don't remember that movie. No, I could technically cover it. It was on the Wonderful World of Disney. I might have to look into that. If I cover that one, I want to cover the Australian one, and I don't know if they look into it. I haven't finalized my list yet. See, I need to black out this last one, but I've got this list. It's backwards anyway, but I got my list here of all the ones that I've done so far. And the next one I'm doing, which I can put the pen over. But anyway, so she agrees to do this, and they do this. So, in the meanwhile, we got a couple subplots. One is Gordo keeps covering for Lizzie, and Kate does too. There's a whole story with Kate where she used to be friends with Lizzie and Miranda, but then she got popular and pushed them away, but then now sort of become friends again here. She's covering for her. Gordo's covering for her. The whole situation. McGuire is constantly checking in. There's a stupid-ass doctor who is like, she has a fever, but still she's in the bed. What does that mean? Oh, she's ill. Okay. But, yeah. And, so they begin this whole, and they go to a fashion thing where they check out dresses and stuff, weird things like Lady Gaga before Lady Gaga was around, that sort of thing. And then he teaches her how to lip sync and tells her she actually has to sing the words, even though it's going to be Isabella's words over it. She also has to sing. Now, the whole point of this thing, we find out that it's a trick. Paolo, we find out later, is the one who lip syncs not Isabella. He can't sing a lick. I mean, he's worse than I am, and I'm not very good, but I'm better than him. Because and he's, At least I can do a little bit of pitch. You know. You guys have heard me sing, I'm better than him. If you've seen this movie and heard me sing, I'm better than he is. Guaranteed. Anyway, so because Gordo stands up for her, he gets the boot because he then says he was the one sneaking out, so he gets kicked off. And this bitch decides to let a 13-year-old find his way to the airport and back home on the same night. But this is also Gordo can get there and meet the real Isabella, who's flown back to Rome because that reason. She wants to find out who's going out with Lizzie McGuire, and Gordo tells her. So we get this whole thing. The parents are also there because there's been a subplot with Matt trying to find embarrassing footage. And this friend of his who's a girl who's very pushy. And I don't remember her from the show. Not really. She's very pushy. And so Matt convinces the parents to fly to Rome because he misses Lizzie. And they get there in record freaking time and somehow are not at the airport at the same time Gordo and Isabella are. Yet, they arrive around the same time, which means they must have left before Gordo got there. It's all happening in the same night, by the way. I'm just saying. So they're ready for a performance, but then Gordo shows up. He was somehow able to get in. Also, I think Kate went with her. Because, like, there's a weird edit here. Because when she's in the room, Miss Ungmeier goes to check on her. She's like, oh, she's sleeping. But when the parents get there and they go back up, Kate is gone. And they have to go to Ethan, who was Lizzie's crush, but that went away as the season went on. The 65 episodes in 2 seasons kind of thing. I don't know. It kind of went away. I thought it was 3 seasons. There's enough to fill 3 seasons, I guess. But anyway, and he was Gordo's roommate. There's a running thing where he just wants spaghetti, and he gets that at the end. A running joke. He wants spaghetti at the end. But, like, yeah, Ethan Crafty's so hot, she says. But anyway, but they basically say, yeah. So they take not only Lizzie's family, but all the students to this thing. And because Ungermeyer could push her way through, it's Alex Borstein, by the way. You know, hang it on. Yeah, her. She pushes her way. But the line clip I like is when she's playing Wonder Woman in the real world Metropolis. They do in the Robot Chicken sketch. They did it once. Bow down to the almighty uterus. Almighty uterus. I love that line she says. But anyway, yeah, she pushes her way through. And Isabella shows up and is like, Paolo is messing with you. I'm the one who sings. He's the one who lip syncs. And they find out there's no audio track for Isabella. So Lizzie's going to have to go out there and sing herself. Which is why he told her to actually sing, even though... But why is he actually singing underneath the... Doesn't make sense, because earlier, when they're practicing, she's like, well, you didn't really sing. He's like, well, I'm lip syncing. But then when they do the lip sync and they turn off his mic, he is singing. Wouldn't it just be... Why is he actually singing underneath it? Because he makes it look real, I guess? I don't know. I guess when they do the overdubs in the movies for musicals and stuff, they do actually have them sing. So it looks real, so I guess. But, yeah. So they go out there and do the thing, they embarrass Paolo, and then she's like, okay, I'm out. But she's like, no, sing. So we get that, this is what dreams are made of. That song. It was all over the place. And it's one of those things where she's practiced like one little bit, and what she practiced isn't what happens. But yet, like she's like, Isabella's like, come on, sing. And they sing together. And you're going to notice there's not one. There's not 2, but there's 3 different distinct voices in this song. Now, at first, it's Lizzie McGuire and Isabella. Hilary Duff and Haley Duff. Yeah, they have Haley Duff sing for Isabella, which I think is smart, because they're going to sound different, right? But there's a third voice in there as well sometimes, just popping in, right? That is the voice of the woman who sings the theme song to Lizzie McGuire, and they blended all three together for some reason. But Hilary Duff is the only one credited for this song, even though it's three of them. I don't know. But yeah, and she does this performance. They do a thing when she take the dress off, and it's like a pantsuit thing, and she's dancing around, and it's like, this was not the choreography that she learned before. So where does this come from? These dancers, where are they? Because the version we saw was a slower version, a ballad version. Which, by the way, apparently wasn't supposed to be in the film, but they used it anyway. And the guy who sang it with another actress, which I think is the one they blended. Then the other voice is the one they blended with the other two. That was supposed to be like a demo that they were going to use, and they were going to have them, but they use it in the movie. And so, yeah. But like I said, and it's weird because Kate's not in the room, and then when everyone shows up and Ethan kind of kneels down in the middle of the walkway for some reason, she's there and she smiles at him, and I'm just like, wait, Ungermeyer had to push everyone in. How the hell did she get in? When did she get there? Which makes me think that when this script was written, it was supposed to be Miranda, and they just rewrote it as Kate. But it doesn't make sense why she's there. But yeah, and everybody's happy now. They're proud of her, and she's still grounded. I thought I'd be grounded or something. And Dad's like, oh, you're grounded for the rest of the summer, but we're proud of you. As Robert Carradine, what are you going to do, And I like how Matt tries to sell someone embarrassing politics. He's like, in my country, little brothers do not make fun of big sisters. Throws it in the thing, like. Something like that. And then we get a moment that has never sat right with me, because it never made sense. Lizzie and Gordo kiss. Because they point out earlier that Gordo might actually care for Lizzie more than anything. But it comes out of nowhere, because for the first half of this film, Gordo was pushing her to go off on a romantic thing with Paolo. And now it's like, no, actually, he's in love with her. The hell did that come from? And I don't think it was ever in the show either. They wanted something, so, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the Lizzie McGuire movie. It's over. That was the series finale movie thing. It's the only one of these three that I'm doing right now. I may do more. I don't know. Right now it's only three. I don't know. I don't want to do the Hannah Montana movie. That's just the thing. Don't want to do that. There's a Phineas and Ferb one. But I don't want to do animated ones. There's Proud Family. It has to do with Peanuts or some shit. I don't want to do animated ones though. So I only have planned one more animated film at the end of this whole thing, and that's going to be a special one. For some people, I don't know about me, but we'll get there. I do have one more of these movies based on Disney Channel show, so we'll get to there. But well, yeah, Lizzie McGuire for me, I'll say it's pretty good. I liked it, even though there are some freaky undertones for Paolo. I don't think it's as creepy as people think it is. It's still weird, but I don't know. I think legally it would be acceptable. You gotta remember also, they're in Rome. So who knows what their legal system is over there. I don't know. I'm not trying to justify it at all. I'm just saying, legally, it's legal. Till he turns 18, then throw his ass in jail, I guess. They can't do anything till he turns 18, right? Who knows what the legal age of consent is in Italy anyway? It's all about laws and where they go. I'm not trying to justify. Like I said, I'm just saying it's about laws and what country you're in, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this McGuire movie? Remember how much you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.